On the left side of the screen is Dr. Ramani Durvasula, a clinical psychologist. And on the right hand side of the screen, there are several photos of Dr. Jordan Peterson. Now, I have already exposed Dr. Jordan Peterson as a fraud, as a control agent of the system. These two people have something in common. She is a fraud, and he is a fraud. Before I begin, let me say that intuition is very important. As you come into alignment with your intuition, and you're able to pick up feelings in letters and emails and telephone calls, pay close attention to it. And because sometimes research may seem overwhelmingly leaning to one side, without a closer look, without a closer deconstruction or reconstruction, that was the word that was in the email that a friend sent, you will miss a huge deceiver. So, I think I'm going to call her a source player. She sent me an email to have a look at Dr. Ramani Durvasula. She didn't say anything whether she wasn't specific about whether or not she needed to be exposed, but I checked her out anyway as if she needed to be exposed, and I checked her out before, but yesterday I spent pretty much the whole entire day doing my lessons, preparing for September, while listening to her videos. And today I did the same thing. And what propelled me to type in different words onto the computer to go deeper into this whole research was the feel that I got through the email that the source player sent me. Okay, so there was something, although she said one thing, I was sensing something that her higher self was, I don't know if it's her higher, something was off. The feeling didn't match. There was something. So anyway, the other day I felt this too. A couple of days ago, was it a couple? Yes, several days ago. I was speaking to someone. I don't need to be specific here. I was speaking to someone, and there was a sense of fear. Remember, I was speaking to some person on the phone. The person is in another city. Okay? And I saw an image. And I also felt the feel. I felt the feel of fear. I know that the word feel is not a word, but that I need to modify the English language a little bit to make myself understood here. Fully understood. I felt that feeling. I felt it and I saw it. I saw an image of the person. Now that doesn't happen much. And if you know me, you know just because if I give a certain rendition of something doesn't mean that I won't be questioning it over and over. I've questioned in any case, the same thing happened here. For me to, So actually, when you read a book, a friend once said, The books are alive. I'm like, what do you mean the books are alive? I understand now. Because the amount of love you put into, because everything is alive. Thoughts are alive. Colors are alive. Whether or not they have a soul or not is irrelevant. In any case, what I want to say to the source player, the person who helped me to expose Ramani Durvasula, you've got to trust your instincts, girl. You've got to trust your instincts. Because I feel that your higher self was telling you one thing and your mind was telling you something else. And if I hadn't put one and two together with my experiences, this lady might not have been exposed, or not. I would not be exposing her, and who knows before somebody else exposes her. Could be a while, right? So let's get back into this. So, summary: trust your instincts. Something is off. You may not know exactly what it is. Trust your instincts. So, these two are the same. These two are the same. This professor and this professor are the same. Let us start with the professor on the right-hand side, Dr. Jordan Peterson. Dr. Jordan Peterson, if you watch his videos, supposedly his supporters, which I don't doubt, most of the supporters are men. And they are being fooled. Jordan Peterson, Jordan Peterson is not looking out for men. He's not looking out for men. He's not looking out to reveal the biases against men. Though he does reveal a few, he reveals that the world is really that the world is not patriotic, and he says that it is a matriarch. I think he says that, but he says it's not patriotic. And I say, from a pretense of the system want to give us a fake patriarch system, paternalistic system, where we blame everything on men, to a maternalistic society where we blame everything on women. So it's disguised as a paternalistic society, and then some of us uncover that it's not really paternalistic, and then we say, oh, it's maternalistic. And those of us who stop there get stuck, because when you get stuck, you're still in darkness. When you get stuck, you're still in darkness, confusion, whatever, darkness, and that's what stops you from returning to source sooner. It is not a paternalistic society, a patriarch. It is not a maternalistic society. It is a demonic control society, okay? Entities from outer worlds playing us against each other. Men against women, women against men, one alien species against another alien species, the tall whites against the reptilians. It's a variety. It's a myriad of things, quite a few things that we have to look out for. So the videos I'm about to show you and the photos are indicative of this precise strategy, which is, again, you've heard me talk about it, divide and conquer. So Jordan Peterson is a fraud. Okay, so you can go back and look at the video later. What Dr. Ramani Durvasula does here with her interviews, she's to be blamed, because she does the same interviews with the same people over and over. Okay, so she supposedly is the expert of narcissism. All right, so if you don't know who she is, let's look at the bio. Ramani Durvasula. Ramani Suryakantan Durvasula, excuse me for pronunciation, is a licensed clinical psychologist, professor of psychology, media expert, and author. She has been sought out in various media outlets for her expertise on narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic abuse, including Red Table, Bravo, the Lifetime Movie Network, National Geographic, and the History Channel, as well as programs such as The Today Show and Good Morning America. How did I miss this? How did I miss this to begin with? It's not even how I missed this. It's like I was typing in, I was looking photos, and I kept, and nothing was showing up. And I'm like, well, anyway, she was caught. One of the strategies that you use to catch a control opposition agent is whether or not that agent is all over the mainstream media. Everything that I have listed here is a popular mainstream media, and we'll look at some of those later. The Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett. I'm mispronouncing her last name. It's I'm having a tongue twister right now. Lifetime Movie Network. Okay, yeah, popular. National Geographic, popular. The History Channel, popular. So you have to keep in mind, no one gets on mainstream TV without having something to hide, without being transgendered, or without fully embracing the system. Let's take a look at some photos of Ramani. That's Ramani. Okay, so I was looking at this photo, and I was looking at the jaws, another photo that seemed a little more squared, but she still looked like a woman to me. So I dropped the transgender investigation and focused on the other aspect of her treachery. Okay, so triangle, maybe she's doing it out of habit, I don't know. That's what I told myself. Strike one. Illuminati triangle. Then I saw this. When I saw this, I was like, no. Actually, this was a photo that propelled me forward to, like, how else can I investigate this to uncover the truth? This. Do you see the three fingers? Do you see the three fingers? Man, slick. That's why it took me 2 whole days to figure this lady out. Yeah, she had me going. Three fingers. And something else is going on. Whatever. You seen the three fingers before? 666 here. Half a 6. And other Illuminati puppets throwing out 3 fingers. These 2 fingers are crossed to make 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Tupac has been exposed already. 3 fingers, Illuminati symbols, whatever, secret society. Michael Jordan is doing it as well. Okay, this is the fastest man alive. Please, can you keep a secret? 3666. Seriously. Alright, let's take a look. Who you hang out with says a lot about who you are. Okay? Especially if it's the same type of people over and over and over again. Now, what I can say with absolute certainty is that there are 3 trannies here, maybe 4. I don't know. I can't tell for the 4th one, but these 3 are definitely trannies. And these are major deceivers. The Smiths and the man mother here. The Red Table Talk. So what we do know is that Dr. Ramani Durvasula is a fraud. She hangs out with and defends the transgender agenda, the homosexual manifesto to turn everyone gay. You find the article. It's a real article that was in the magazine. Look, if it happens once, you could say, well, maybe it happens twice, maybe. This is all she does. This is like pictures are all over the place. Let's keep going. This lady cannot be trusted. All right. Okay, that's the last picture. All right, so far we were reading the bio and we found out that this lady has been on popular mainstream TV media, Good Morning America, Today Show, the History Channel, National Geographic, the Red Table, Bravo. Ramani was born in Englewood, New Jersey on December 30, 1965. Her mother is Ramani Durvasula. She also has a sister, Padma Salisbury. Education, 1989, Durvasula obtained a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from the University of Connecticut. She has also received a Master of Arts in Psychology and a Doctor of Philosophy in Clinical Psychology from the University of California, Los Angeles. Probably should study that instead of business, economics, and French. She has a private practice in Santa Monica and another in Sherman Oaks, Los Angeles. She is also professor of psychology at California State University and a visiting professor of psychology at the University of Johannesburg. Books she has authored include Don't You Know Who I Am? How to Stay Sane in the Era of Narcissism. Entitlement and Incivility. Should I stay or should I go? Pay attention to that book. Should I stay or should I go? Surviving relationship with a narcissist. And You Are What You Eat. Change your food attitude, change your life. As well as peer-reviewed journal articles, book chapters, and conference papers. Durvasula first appeared on television on an episode of Remote Control. She was the co-host of show My Shopping Addiction on the Oxygen popular network, and has provided expert commentary on the Today Show and Good Morning America channels such as Bravo, the Lifetime Movie Network, National Geographic, the History Channel, Discovery. It goes on. So, when you watch her, she's very. What she says seems to make sense. So, this is how she fools you at first. What she says seems to make sense. What does she talk about? We're going to look at a few videos. Basically, she talks about narcissism. And she advocates, she favors not giving the narcissist a second chance. And I was thinking, what is her angle? Once I spot her, once I figure her out, I was like, oh, her angle is basically divide and conquer. put men against women, or put women in this case. So the difference between Ramani and Peterson is that Ramani pits women, does it in a very charming, that's her word, charming way, pits women against men. Jordan Peterson pretends to be on the side of men. This is like what a mind game they're playing on us. All right, we're going to go to let's begin with Ramani here. Ramani really is the big story, so we'll be going back and forth, but the focus is on her. Professor. Okay, so let me make sure I have the right video here. Alright, downloads. The first video that I would like to begin with is called, let's begin with one about men. Narcissistic fathers. Narcissistic fathers. Okay, I clicked on it. Doctor, is that it?
Today's question we're going to try to tackle in this video.
Nope, that is not it.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani, and it's Father's Day. I'm the first one to acknowledge that on a narcissism channel, Father's Day, just like Mother's Day, is going to be one of those more complicated days we talk about. You know, if you want to let us know, just drop a note down. How are you going to celebrate Father's Day, or is it something you avoid given who your father is or what your relationship with your dad is about? So let's talk a little bit about Father's Day and these sort of parental commemoration days. Listen, if you have a solid relationship with your mom or with your dad, these can really feel like very special days. Or if you're a parent yourself and you happen to like your partner, husband, wife, co-parent, it could be a very special day. However, I think, and I have to say, as somebody who works in an area of narcissism and narcissistic abuse, I'm the first to acknowledge that many times these sorts of role commemoration days, like Father's Day and Mother's Day, can be incredibly painful and triggering for people who've had very narcissistic fathers. Now, one thing I've said, and I always want to be very careful how I couch this, there are, in fact, yes, more men who have narcissistic characteristics than women.
Yeah, she's been careful because she doesn't want to reveal her true character. Okay, let's go back a little bit so you can hear that again.
And I always want to be very careful how I couch this. There are, in fact, yes, more men who have narcissistic characteristics than women. That does not mean there are not tons of women out there who aren't narcissistic. There are lots of narcissists.
All right, give us the stat. What's the percentage? What's the ratio?
People. Go back to that Mother's Day video. Trust me, a lot of people have shared with me narcissistic ex-partners who are women, narcissistic moms. However, on a population level, there are more men with it, and it has a lot to do with socialization. I'm not going to get into that here.
Okay, so she's not going to get into it. In the population, most men are narcissistic. That's what she says. Okay. Over and over again. I'll read this to you so that we don't have to watch the whole thing here. She goes on, I forgot where exactly she says it. She says, if a person has had a narcissistic parent, odds are it was their father. We know that narcissism as a pattern and narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder are both more common in men. There is a variety of reasons for that, but when we're talking about fatherhood, it's that you do that parent who was your dad, and that can make holidays like Father's Day a little bit dicey. You know what? I'm going to try to find it.
What that means, though, is that a lot of people out there have narcissistic fathers, and these are fathers who might have been very authoritarian, very cold, very emotionally invalidating. It's all but a setup that you are going to find a narcissistic partner. I don't care if you're a female well into adult life. For the men out there who had narcissistic fathers, your entire life with nothing else that would see you and notice you. One of the hardest things about a narcissistic father is how conditional they choose to veer off into a territory and be. If you've had a narcissistic parent, either a mother or a father, these holidays can really actually be a trigger for shame. A recollection that things weren't okay in your family, and as a child, you many times might blame yourself for them. The idea that I really don't want people to know how gruesome this really was.
Okay, don't I forgot her exact moment when she said it, but basically, if a person has had a narcissistic parent, odds are it was their father. This video is called, just in case you didn't see it, yeah, you see it, Narcissistic Fathers, Dr. Ramani Durvasula. Okay, so that the 3-finger thing propelled me to dig further. So I asked myself if it were true that 80% of men are narcissistic and only 20% of women are narcissistic. I told myself, when I heard that the majority are men, I was like, okay. But when I heard that 80%, 20%, I wanted to hear the reasons. I wanted to hear the reasons why. She said that men are more narcissistic. So let's look at the reasons why she gives for the narcissistic nature of men, though she doesn't call that nature. What? Pause the video here. Narcissistic women. So here she talks about narcissistic women. But what I was interested in is understanding the reasons why she said that 80% of the cases are men. 80% of the population of those who are narcissistic are men. Okay, so let's listen. She's gonna start with women, but let's hear the reasons.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ramani Durvasula, and today's question we're going to try to tackle in this video is, can women be narcissistic? That's the big question, because so much of the focus on a lot of what you see online and read about is really sort of bad narcissistic guy and a woman who's suffering. But absolutely, yes, women can be narcissistic. It's a pattern, it's a personality style, and there's no reason it wouldn't happen in a woman if he really is a man. And anyone out there who has a narcissistic mother knows that women can be narcissistic. But there is a difference. Definitely, if I were to sort of spitball, probably 80-20, 80% men, 20% women.
That's huge. Don't you find that huge? That's pretty huge.
Or really sort of noticeably narcissistic. And part of the reason for that are differences in socialization.
Okay, so she gave it to you. Or the overall umbrella. Socialization. Okay, let's hear it.
Girls and women are much more socialized for empathy.
Girls, women are socialized to be more empathetic. Okay. Compassion.
Kindness, playing nice.
Okay, let's go back and hear that again.
Girls and women are narcissistic. And part of the reason for that are differences in socialization. Girls and women are much more socialized for empathy, compassion, kindness, playing nice, sharing feelings, and vulnerability. Men are told that those things are verboten or they're not masculine, and so many times get the message from fathers, even mothers in society.
Wow, this lady is full of shit. if you don't analyze what she's saying carefully, you'll fall for it. I guarantee you. Girls are so socialized to be more sensitive, to be more to be more in tune with their feelings, right? And boys are supposed to be hard, right? Yeah, that's what we're told. That's what we're told in society, right? To toughen up. So is that the reason why the percentage is so high, 80% men? Or is this lady trying to divide and conquer the two genders? Let me ask you a question. What is the divorce rate? Okay? What is the divorce rate in America? In the United States of America, what is the divorce rate? We're told it's about 50%. So who is raising the kids? Who is actually having more influence on children? Now, if you say it's women, I say go a little deeper. It's actually babysitters and daycare centers. Now, if I think about the divorce rate and I'm looking at the amount of contact that daycare centers and women have with their children, the reason cannot possibly be socialization of one gender against versus the other. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense because the people spending more time. Now you could go and you could do the research and see what the predominant sex is in the daycare centers, if you like. But it seems to me that this is just a load of nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. So I asked myself, why would this lady be pushing such a lie? I dug in deeper, and on the Today Show, she was interviewed by let me see, Today Show, hopefully I didn't click it off. Yep, this is it. Okay, so this is called Dr. Ramani Durvasula, and
it's never been more important to stay up to speed and optimum.
And the question is, does social media make cheating?
Can help with 300 meg internet on our next generation network.
Does social media make cheating easier? And this was on Fox News, to be precise, Fox 11 Los Angeles. Fox 11 Los Angeles. Again, another mainstream media. If they're showing up all over mainstream media, they are frauds.
Research. Oh yes.
What percentage of the couples that you counsel say that social media is a problem for them?
I'm going 75% of couples I have worked with or are currently working.
So if it just seems to me that there are other factors besides blaming narcissism on how we raise our kids. No, I mean blaming it on parental guidance alone. Okay, now she admits that more and more with technology, more and more, what she say, women are becoming narcissistic, but there seems to be a huge bias against one gender, which isn't true. If it were true, then that would make sense. But the fact that, as I've already said, the caretaker. So what are women doing? Are they just telling? So if my mother, since I mostly grew up with my mother, if my mother, I'm trying to think if some of the signs she says, you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But there are a lot of single parents in today's society, so that it doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense, so I kept going deeper. And the next video that I came across was called Dr. Ramani. You can see it on the screen. Dr. Ramani. Is Jordan Peterson a narcissist? That's the title. It's right on the screen. Okay, so I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched enough of it to know that this is bullshit. They were hating on Jordan Peterson, calling Jordan Peterson, well, even if she's right, it's still, the best way to go about this lady is to say we're both guilty. To say, oh, I, Dr. Ramani, and Jordan Peterson are both control opposition. She should say, I am a covert narcissist, and Jordan Peterson is a covert narcissist. And we're both just control opposition. We have demonic entities inside us, and we're playing one gender against each other. The enemy is the people, the human population, and we who have demonic entities or darkness, extreme darkness inside us, are your overlords. That I would respect. Let's listen to a bit to how they play the cards against us.
Let's get down to the brass tacks of what all narcissists look like. In all narcissism, we tend to see a lack of empathy, grandiosity, entitlement, superficiality, chronic seeking of validation outside of them, arrogance, and a real tendency towards rage, as well as a tendency to manipulate or exploit other people. Those you tend to see across the board to varying degrees.
Let's say that you've been in the long term.
Okay, so she just gave gave an explanation, and the interviewer. So this media here is called Med Circle, has a lot. So this came from Med Circle, has over 500,000 subscribers, and so she's given an explanation, and they give an example of Jordan Peterson being a perfect example of that.
Relationship, and it collapses. Let's say you were
Alcohol use.
Okay, so then she goes on again. She goes into another element of narcissism, right?
Orders with people with MPD.
People who have narcissistic personality disorder or even narcissistic traits, there are several co-occurring patterns we can see that are more likely to happen. All forms of substance use disorders. You know, a lot of times it's to fill the emptiness or to enhance the grandiosity. So alcohol use.
When I was 25 or so, I probably weighed about 138 pounds. I smoked like a pack of cigarettes a day. I drank.
Okay, so you get what she's doing. You get what they're doing. Doesn't take much to see what they're doing. So it's just two control opposition agents playing divide and conquer against us, and Ramani, you have been exposed by the Triple Cross. Let's keep going though. We're not done quite yet because I found quite a bit of information. Not quite done yet.
Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani, and welcome back to this YouTube channel on all things related.
This video is called Narcissist and Karma. Whoa, what the heck?
To narcissism and toxic relationships and narcissistic relationships and you name it. I'm hoping to give you information to help illuminate your path forward.
Illuminate?
So you don't fall into the usual pitfalls.
You mean darken it?
Relationships bring. Today we're going to take on a biggie.
She wants to illuminate my path. Really? No, she wants to darken our path.
Narcissistic relationships and you name it. I'm hoping to give you information to help illuminate your path forward so you don't fall into the usual pitfalls that these relationships bring. Today we're going to take on a biggie. Let's talk about narcissists and karma. Yeah. Before we get there, if you do end up liking this video, please give me that thumbs up. It means a lot to me. Good karma for me, I guess. And if you could hit that subscribe button, please join this community and hit that bell if you want notifications. And even before we get started, I want you to also answer that question. Has a narcissist who's close to you, the narcissist that hurt you, did they get their karma? Let us know, because I think it's great to share war stories. But let's start. Do narcissists ever, or do narcissists always get karma? No, they don't. So I gotta say, listen, the Western world has sort of co-opted the concept of karma into sort of metaphysical payback. It's a little bit more subtle than that. And you got to be able to talk about and think about other things like past lives and a person's current behavior. But in short,
so she knows about past lives, but she advocates, she supports a transgender agenda. Plenty of evidence. Just look up a few videos. Look up the video, the misconceptions you need to know of the misconceptions you need to know of LGBTQ. This is where she was very supportive, indirectly supportive, and somewhat directly supportive. And when she goes on these shows, male something show, I forgot the name of it. I wrote it down here somewhere. Male, but they're all trannies. So she has more than one agenda she's supporting here. She's supporting the transgender agenda. She is supporting the divide and conquer, men against women, women against men. Any way to turn, instead of really saying that the real people who are causing the problem, the true enemy is there's them, the demonic entities inside. So karma, she just said that no, we don't really
opted the concept of karma into that hurt you. Did they get their karma? Let us know, because I think it's great to share.
Do narcissists get their karma?
You to also answer that question. Has a narcissist who's close to you, the narcissist that hurt you, did they get their karma? Let us know, because I think it's great to share war stories. But let's start. Do narcissists ever, or do narcissists always get karma? No, they don't.
Okay, now she's going to say yes later. Listen, karma is just merely a darkening of the soul. So whatever you sow, you reap. So she'll say something that's absolutely correct later. But basically, whenever you do something, it's recorded, automatically recorded in your soul, into the vibration of your soul. So to clean it up, it might take some time, and the time that it takes is the suffering. That's why there are no accidents. So she knows what she's talking about, but she sort of like wants to muddle the water a little bit here to confuse us a little bit, just a little bit more.
So I gotta say, listen, the Western world has sort of co-opted the concept of karma into sort of metaphysical payback.
Okay, okay, okay.
It's a little bit more subtle than that. And you got to be able to talk about and think about other things like past lives and a person's current behavior. But in short, what is karma? Karma, classically defined, is that it's not just your actual behavior that has consequences, but even your intentions have consequences. So all of your behaviors and actions are supposed to be undertaken with good intent. So simply put,
True.
if we show and we intend good things, we'll receive good things, and vice versa. If we show and we intend bad things, we'll receive bad things. The downside of all of this is that these deeds and intentions, those so-called karmic consequences, sorry gang, they may not be seen until the next life.
Fair.
Now, Carl Jung sort of brought this into modern psychological
A fraud?
thought, and he said, I'm quoting him, he said, when an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. Okay. So we can take a more simple look at
I'm gonna go ahead a little bit here.
I can't make that promise. And it's actually really not fully how karma works per se.
Let's go back a little bit here.
Going to get what is due to them. Please let me know they're going to hurt as badly as I do. Please tell me there's karma. I can't make that promise.
She
And
can't
it's
make
actually
that promise.
Really
So,
not fully.
didn't you say earlier that it's possible that it's gonna happen maybe another lifetime?
It's karma. I can't make that promise. And it's actually really not is going to get what is due to them. Please let me know they're going to hurt as badly as I do. Please tell me there's karma. I can't make that promise. And it's actually really not fully how karma works per se. For most of us, just to settle that uncomfortable sense of injustice that is a narcissistic relationship, to know that after hurting other people, throwing their arrogance out there, jumping to the head of the line, berating and invalidating and cheating and lying, that they would somehow get theirs one day. Sometimes they do. Sometimes. Sometimes they burn enough bridges, break enough rules, and they're so enabled that they just keep taking bigger and bigger and bigger risks that someday they get caught. And there is that satisfying moment when, yeah, they may get fired or arrested, or the new replacement girlfriend or boyfriend kicks them out. It sometimes happens, and you sometimes get to hear about it. But just as often, I hate to tell you this, they get away with it.
And I hope that she's not trying to confuse us. She's actually talking about this lifetime, because she didn't clarify. Either way, she says that sometimes they get away with it. I don't know. Hopefully she's being more specific, not just this lifetime, but...
So many narcissists are surrounded by enough enablers, enough good luck, enough privilege, enough money to get away with it.
She says it again.
Many people who are healing from narcissistic abuse will say to me, you know what? I could pull through this if I just knew that that narcissist was going to get theirs.
Well, there's no point in trying to get some... Anyway, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help us to... if they're caught later, it doesn't really matter. So... anyway, I'm going to end here. Am I missing anything here? Oxygen network. Yes. So I've covered pretty much everything. Thank you for suggesting the video. And you know who you are. And yeah, for everybody else, good luck on your journey back to source consciousness.